Why does this gap in financing nature exist? Why is nature so categorically and consistently undervalued by the public and private finance sectors alike?
I oversee projects where we look at designing different financing models to address, as Jamie said, different social and economic kind of funding gaps. But that being said, my economic colleagues would say that I think fundamentally we've talked a little bit about this over the past 2 days. There's a challenge when we don't price externalities. So when things are not appropriately priced and when there is not assigned value that really truly represents what it is underlying as an asset, including the environment and certainly nature, then the markets will be skewed. And so I think that what we've found is it is a thorny issue to talk about even just pricing carbon, and not just carbon, but I think some of the things that you just mentioned, which is the health, for example. Oftentimes people don't think about nature and health and the link there, both in terms of what nature can be used for in terms of making you healthier, but also your air, how you breathe, how you live. And so I think that, all of those externalities are very difficult and have been kind of academic in nature in terms of thinking about the pricing. But until that happens, we'll be doing Band-Aids, which is what I think we've been talking a lot about over the past couple of days. Very good Band-Aids, but Band-Aids in terms of having ESG screens, negatively screened funds, thinking about trying to be more positively inclined in terms of your investments and responsible. But until the market kind of shifts in that way, big picture, you will still just be making Band-Aids. I will say, though, that I think, on the pricing carbon part of it, so for a long time, for the past 10, 12 years, I lived in California. For those of you who have not been, since it's quite a long plane ride. In 2006, California passed AB 32, which was the climate bill that Governor Schwarzenegger put forward, and it helped to launch 6 years later California's cap and trade program. And so the goal was to limit or reduce emissions to below 1990 levels by 2020. So we're a year away. We actually already did it. California already did it. So it was achieved in 2016. And there was a lot of pushback and a lot of initial kind of criticism of the cap and trade program, and that's rightfully so. There are still issues with it in terms of the design, but I think fundamentally when we're talking about carrots and sticks, it was successful in California. The funding that is raised through the trade actually does pay for a lot of the green infrastructure that California desperately needs, and so I think there's a positive example there of what can be done when you start to actually think about trying to shift the market completely and how we price and value these assets.